Commissioner Lewis, I would like to point out that the written testimony that you did receive was suggesting a one-way and not a complete closure.
Okay, thank you. Yes, and we do have that. Thank you. Anyone else, or is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the petition? Okay. Hearing no one, then I do want our attorney to weigh in on this, get his opinions on this. Do we need to close? We don't want to close the hearing before we do that, correct?
I think you should leave it open in case there are any questions.
Okay, sure.
I've got some questions anyway.
Okay.
So I just want to, Eric Hostetler, I just want to briefly go through, I prepared for the board's consideration 3 draft resolutions. One would grant the petition. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. The second would deny the petition based on a lack of public convenience or public welfare, which would be addressing it under the statute. The third option is, and Mr. Riley referenced this in his summary, the particular statute under which this petition was filed is RC 5553.045. And it is a special procedure that allows for a Board of Township Trustees to petition for the vacation of a road or a portion of a road. But that, Section A of that statute defines what a road means for purposes of that statute. And it's not just any township road or county road. It is any road that is essentially not used for the calculation of mileage. It's not inventoried for ODOT. And this road, as the engineer has included in their summary, is an inventory road. That mileage is used to calculate their receipt of the fees. So this road, even though it's just a small portion of it, it does not fit the definition under this particular statute. So on that, call it hyper-technical basis, this petition should be denied because it doesn't meet the definition of a road. There's a different procedure that has a different process for reviewing publication of notice that we would follow if the petition signed by at least 12 property owners was filed with us instead of with the township. And so that's, if you were asking me for my recommendation on this, it would be that third option, to deny the petition because it does not, the road that is petitioned for does not meet the definition in the statute. But the property owners would have that other avenue to file their petition for a vacation or something similar to it if they want to modify it in some way directly with the Board of Commissioners, and then we would address it under that different section of the revised code.
Okay. So what you're telling us then is that this is something that should have been brought to us originally, and therefore, but it was not, and there is a technical problem here that we can't get around.
Yeah, it's a different procedure. So the statute that was specifically referenced in the resolution from the township,
Okay.
and the action that the township took was under that statute. And it has a completely different procedure to it.
Okay, I
And
see.
as well as, there's, Rob mentioned this, there's a default that if you don't take action within a certain number of days, it's automatically deemed to be granted and the township can vacate it. And so I do think you need to take action
Sure.
so that there's not a automatic vacation here. The property owners, I'm sure, thought that what they were doing was the right thing, submit it to
Sure.
the township trustees, but as I think you all know, and I believe the township trustees know, that ultimate authority over the vacation of any public road in the county comes before this board, and you have to take action on it. So I think it's just an oversight
Sure.
on the part of the property
Sure.
owners that they thought they were filing with the appropriate entity, but that petition, if it had been filed with us instead, it would have fallen under 5553.04, and we would have proceeded under that section of the revised code, which again, set a view and hearing, publication in the newspaper, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Right, yes. Okay. Yes, Mr. Jones, no, Mr. Jones, if you have a question, you can come to the dais. And just state your name again.
Steve Jones, 270 South Parkway. With regard to the .04 process, you indicated that there was a certain minimum number of landowners or property owners who would have to basically submit that petition. Do
Yeah.
those property owners have to basically abut this little section of land? Or can we as residents qualify as property owners to meet I think the number was
Does it need to-
12,
Does
right?
it need to abut the portion being vacated?
Yeah,
I don't believe so. It's
Okay.
just 12 property owners.
okay. Great, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, you can.
It's just Lisa Knapp again. I just want to clarify that the residents brought this to the trustees, and we extensively consulted legal counsel, and they told us this was the procedure to follow. So it wasn't the residents doing. They thought
Sure.
they were doing the right thing, bringing to us, and our legal counsel allegedly did extensive research and said this is the procedure that we
Sure.
needed to follow, so.
Sure.
All right,
Oh,
just want to
thank you.
clarify that. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, I have no doubt. I mean, this is a complicated area. The residents thought that they were doing the right thing, so did the trustees. So, any?
Yeah, I had a few questions.
Sure.
Just to kind of clarify things, assuming another petition comes down the road. Can you restrict a street like this to no through traffic?
And Commissioner, I think that's what, at the end of the day, that's what's being asked. If I could characterize what I've heard today, and I actually had a chance to speak with Mr. Hartman during the recess. I think the desire is not necessarily to vacate that portion permanently or to prohibit any type of access. It would be to retain some form of emergency access only, because obviously those residents ought to be able to get emergency vehicles to their neighborhood in the event that the street off of Orange Road is ever blocked for any reason. I think what we're faced with is what tools do we have available to us, and this is probably a matter I'm going to have to talk with Mr. Hostetler, potentially with Scott Sanders at Regional Planning, whether there is another mechanism to accomplish what is being asked. Could potentially involve replatting the subdivision, replatting that right-of-way. I don't know. I'm speculating whether that would be a mechanism that would be available. But what I know today and what I would advise the board is this is probably not the tool we want to use, although I fully understand and to a large degree agree with the concerns that have been expressed.
Yeah, I definitely understand the concerns. I'm just trying to find the right way to address them. Is it possible to install gates? You know, I know that's a whole other level
So
of complexity.
Mr.
when a road is
Hostetler?
established as a public road, it is to be open to the public. And I think we've all seen no-through truck signs throughout the state. The Attorney General has advised local entities that they don't have authority to put up those signs. They're not enforceable. Because if you have a public road, subject to lawful weight limits, things like that, you can't just close a portion of a public road. You can't say, well, that traffic can come through, but that traffic can't.
I understand.
That's what complicates situations like this. Forget about whether it's workable to actually enforce those signs, if you could put them up. But there is a way to establish emergency-only access. But that access would more than likely not be a public road. It would have to be privately maintained with an easement to allow for that emergency access. We've had other subdivisions in the area that have had that set up. For whatever reason, they don't have the ability to get a second public access, but in order to get the fire department to sign off on that plat, well, we want another emergency exit and entrance. And removable bollards is something that they've done, but those are actually private easements, not public roads. If it's a public road, you can't do that. You can't put up gates.
Right.
So there's not a quick and easy solution to a problem like this.
Could you privatize the roads, though? I mean, legally?
Well, I mean, it's a possibility.
It's
that-
possible.
So
Okay.
the private property owners that abut all of Parkway Drive and Orange, is it Orange Avenue, what's West Orange Avenue is the other road?
Yes.
It would be a very different discussion for your board if they were to petition to basically vacate all of those public roads and convert them to private. That would probably eliminate a lot of the public convenience and welfare concerns that the engineers brought up, but it would put on those private property owners the obligation to maintain those
Yeah,
roads.
yeah.
And that's a much bigger obligation than I think private property owners would like to take on. But that's probably the
'Cause-
cleanest way to.
Yeah, I mean, there are subdivisions that we know of
Yeah.
that have gated, gates. and-
Yeah.
And they know they're responsible for maintaining those roads.
Yeah, they could then barricade, they could put up signs, private only, and that would be, that nothing would require them to open that to any other traffic. They could limit it to their residents and their residents only. And they could allow for emergency access as well. But again, that would require them taking on that obligation. And we have also frequently seen over the years, a lot of privately platted roads come before the board to be dedicated as public, so that they don't have to take care of them anymore.
Right. Oh,
So
yeah.
this would kind of be going in reverse to what we've
Yeah,
seen
no, I
typically.
get it.
Right.
Yeah, as far as the public welfare, I've got concerns about if this becomes private property, how do you maintain those bollards if you want to do that? And who's going to, you have to negotiate with the private owners presumably to get whatever easements, or I don't know what the exact structure would be, but, and I agree, I think that having 2 access points is really, really important as well, so.
Well, what I'd like to do is close the hearing and then we
Yeah.
can discuss.
One more question for Rob. On northbound 23, can you turn left onto Parkway Drive?
Currently, you can. Yes, you can turn left. As you know, ODOT is working
Is-
through what they're calling a 23 Connect, which I believe at some point in the future envisions restricting that access to something less than it is today, either in eliminating it entirely or converting it to right in, right out. We don't know that yet.
Okay. We will close the hearing then at 11:22, and then we'll discuss how to proceed from here.
Yeah, again,
I think we know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I empathize, I truly do
Yeah.
with the residents' concerns, but I do think we've been presented with the wrong approach, wrong procedure to consider, to properly consider a
Right,
vacation.
right.
So I would, would we
Move
need
to-
to
move to
vote on
deny.
both, Eric, or can we just deny it on the?
My recommendation is that you go with that third draft that I
Okay.
prepared, which would
Yeah.
just deny it on that
Yeah.
technical
Okay.
issue.
That's what I would ask the clerk to read, the
Okay.
denial of the third option.
Resolution number 25-507, in the matter of denying the petition from the Orange Township Board of Trustees requesting vacation of a portion of Parkway Drive in Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, under special procedures of RC 5553.045.
So moved.
Second discussion. I feel for everybody. You
Get real
were
concerns.
acting in good faith, and there certainly is, oh boy. I understand your concerns, as the commissioner just said. But we have to do it the right way, and if we do something the wrong way too, then you opening it up to further litigation, and you do not want that. And so thank you for being so patient and your continued patience with this, but I am in favor of the denial. So call for the vote.
Vote on motion 25-507. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
The petition is denied. Thank you, everyone.
Did you want to address commissioner committee reports, or would you rather just adjourn?
We can,
I didn't
well,
have anything, actually.
my report is, I went to the Sunbury Parade. It was It was really something. Everybody.
Usual?
Yeah.
Very crowded?
Yeah, very crowded. Everybody
great
was
parade.
just, it really is. Boy, it couldn't, I mean, people turned out from all over, more than just Sunbury. And really happy to be there, and so it was a great parade.
And Orange Township had a successful parade too, so I want to compliment.
Yes,
It keeps growing
yes,
every year, so
yes,
congratulations
we
to
did.
the folks
Yes.
there.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yep, thanks, everybody.
That's it.